Good morning and thank you for joining us this morning. My name remains Israel Ibenime, and also I always have my regular analyst in the studio. Today is a special day because we're also going to analyze our newspaper review this morning. Welcome to Newspaper Review Update, and with him in the studio is Alhaji Mustafa Abdullahi. Alhaji, how are you?
I'm good, and you?
So what's going on in political party atmosphere? What's actually going on?
The politicians, they're outside there, they are doing what they know best. At least all the frontline candidates, they were in Kaduna yesterday.
Exactly, yes. Most of them were in Kaduna yesterday, yes. And Labour Party
was there too. Tinubu was there, Atiku was there. So, well, let's see.
So what is going on in Kaduna?
Well, you know, virtually in Nigeria, if you look at it very well, we have 3 blocks. The 3 blocks, that is Yoruba, Igbo, and Hausa. And when we are talking about Kaduna, Kaduna is more or less like the center of North. So, and whoever want to win must at least go there to place on the table their agenda for the North and an agenda for Nigeria. So that is what virtually all of them went there for.
And the same, yeah, I saw that video trending yesterday, especially when we were at the airport, when they are changing.
Yeah, it's unique, it's symbolic.
It's symbolic, yes. That shows a lot of science, yes. To voters, you don't need to kill yourself. You don't need to kill yourself because they are together.
These guys are together.
Yes, of course.
In fact, as we are seeing now,
the reception was
Peter Obi will pick phone, call Atiku will call Tinubu. All of them, they talk together. You understand? If any of them is sick, I believe that if it requires the support of other persons, they will rush and do that. So the supporters, they should not kill themselves in the name of these people. They are all together.
So I think that is a sign to all Nigerian voters, yes, that all voters should be sensitive, yeah, not using
it's just about vote. Don't kill yourself
as a violent or to cause mayhem.
We are all Nigerians,
individuals.
We have only one country to look onto.
But interesting thing that happened yesterday, because the All Progressive People Congress, that is APC candidate, which also a former governor of Lagos State,
yeah.
And at the same time Labour Party presidential candidate as well, also was a former governor of Anambra State. Everybody have experience.
Yes.
Yeah, in one or the other.
You can't just jump up and say
also the PDP was a former vice president of Nigeria. So everybody actually have experience.
They had a previous experience, and I believe their statement too. They are all statement.
Yeah, they are all statement. So, but one interesting part I want us to talk about this morning, which actually the front line, the front of our front line, our next paper review, the first newspaper review this morning, please pardon me, it will be the Punch newspaper. But for those of you that are joining for the first time, please do not forget to follow us on our social media handle. Our social media handle is out there on the screen, display on the screen. On YouTube, we're Aspheric TV. On Facebook, we're official Aspheric News. On Instagram, Aspheric News. On Twitter, Aspheric News. Do not forget to follow us. Also read more about our news breaking news or content on www.asfericnews.com, and I repeat, www.asfericnews.com. So let's just go back to this 2023 presidential election. It's just around the corner. You know, you have like 3-4 months, yes, to February. Yeah. So 3-4 months to our we'll let a new leader that will lead over 200 million. But I think the study said that it's more than over 200 million. Yes, we're more than 200 million now. And one interesting part everybody was presenting, all the candidates were presenting yesterday is about according to Labour Party and APC, they are focusing on restructuring, corruption, agricultural power shift, and all of that. But this has been a major problem in Nigeria for decades.
Yes.
So how would they keep this promise? Do you think that they can keep this promise? And how is it possible for Nigerians to expect that anybody who emerges or wins the next general election as presidential candidate of Nigeria will keep this promise to Nigerians?
Well, it's just like every normal Nigerian, we already know our problem. That look, we have problem with insecurity, we have problem economy, we have problem virtually in energy and all. So the only thing now that we are expecting them to tell us is how to solve this problem, how to pilot us out of this murky terrain that we found ourselves today. Well, the Labour Party has said its own that it's going to diversify. Likewise, days ago, the presidential candidate of APC2, he said it that look, that Nigeria, that he's going to leverage on the successes of President Muhammadu Buhari. Well, that is the one part that Nigerians are finding it somehow difficult to understand, that he's going to succeed based on the foundation that Buhari has laid down. Some Nigerians will say, look, what foundation has Buhari laid down? Is it the suffering today that we are dealing with today? But you know, we are like we are not supposed to be like to delve into the main thing and start talking about it. But if you ask me, the APC presidential candidate is facing the difficult question of what is he going to base his campaign on, based on the present record of the present administration of APC. If he says so, then it will be difficult for Nigerians to accept him, because Nigerians are finding it difficult to survive now. Although government will come out to say, look, it's a global thing, because we are seeing a protest in the street of Paris, whereby the French people are protesting the hardship. Likewise, it happened in the UK too. If you look, it's like a global phenomenon. But in our own case here, we have been suffering before the war in Ukraine and the pandemic. So it's quite difficult for the presidential candidate of APC. Unlike the Labour Party and the PDP, whereby they are like opposition. So they will hit, and they will say they will do this. So let's continue to watch and see. So
what interests me so much about the conversation yesterday, that when Tinubu said, I supported Atiku and it's time to pay back. Well, so I was wondering what's going on here. So
it's more or less like
all PDP to support APC. Yes, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's more or less like a metaphorical statement, whereby he said, okay, he's making reference to 2007, whereby Atiku now ran on the platform of ACN then. So, and he wants a kind of a reciprocal this time around.
He was a majority.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes. You know, he owned, as at then, he was from AD to now AC, from AC to now ACN. So, and the whole thing about ACN then was around Tinubu. So, and Atiku now ran to him and said, okay, you know, Atiku had a problem with Obasanjo then, and he was edged out of PDP, and he now ran to ACN. So, someone that had that kind of this thing, he's now expecting to say, look, support me this time around. But you know, politicians, they know how to play with themselves, to throw jibes here and there. So it's more or less like a jibe, because Atiku is out for win. Likewise, the Tinubu too is out for a win. Likewise for Peter Obi and whoever is out there, they are all campaigning. They are all jostling to win.
So let's just focus more on agriculture, because when they focus on agriculture is one of the major area that I think that also this government has also have contributed so much on agriculture, because if not that pandemic and floods and the flood insecurity problem that has headers are now allowing farmers according to the statistics and all of that within the regions where we receive this information and how do you think? Because if you are saying you are going to diversify it in agriculture, what measures do you have put things in place? For example, security must be properly tackled for you to at least have at least 50% result of this agenda. Do you understand?
Basically, it's everybody cannot be farmer. You understand? Take for instance like US. You discover that US produce enough food that cater for their need. Food, there's what we call food security. Food security too is part of the national security, national agenda of the every nation. But in our own case here, you discover that we would not accord agriculture much importance, and that is why we are finding it difficult to survive on certain things. Nigeria is basically an agrarian country with vast land, stretched from all the way from the south to the north. You discover that we have a kind of a good climatic condition whereby we're supposed to farm, but we are lacking in investment in agriculture. Although this government, starting from the previous administration, they tried to invest in agriculture. up to now, they are still investing. You have anchor borrowers and several other initiatives by the present administration in terms of agriculture, but you discover that it's not yielding much result. Yielding much result in the sense that if we are talking about pandemic or we are talking about war in Russia, at least it shouldn't affect our own local production here. If it should reflect in the price foodstuff, but you discover that instead there is a general inflation which is affecting both agriculture and other things too. That is the aspect of consumption here. Then we are talking about foreign exchange. If we produce enough, we should be able to like export and earn foreign exchange from it. But that is not. We are not seeing that, and we are not seeing that. That is why you see all the presidential candidates are now coming out. They must talk about agriculture to say, okay, this is what they will do. In terms of diversification, if they want to diversify, how do we diversify? Is the agriculture, which is what we have the resources to diversify into agriculture and succeed. That is, if we have the actual security issue, we can tackle the security issue, we will achieve that.
Also, the PDP attack on yesterday in Kaduna. And what do you have to say to that? Because these guys are together, so why are we not fighting ourselves? Why supporters fighting each other or try to build party? Because if you looked at the political, if you watch the video I saw yesterday from Kaduna State, coming from Kaduna State, you can see Tinubu, you can see everybody, you can see all the politics, you can see
they laugh together, they are together,
they are just having a general conversation within themselves and all that. So why will come on Nigeria and now go out there to now fighting each other to injure and kill ourselves? But I think but what do you think about that?
Well, Dr. Israel, I don't think sane-minded human being will stake his life to fight over something that he knows quite okay that result must emerge. But you understand that we have a lot of, should I call them hooligans or miscreants? You have them. These are guys whereby politicians use them. Politicians create this kind of a legion of miscreants, hooligans, and once it comes to electioneering campaign period, they go after them, pay them some certain amount of money. They are coming out, and you see them coming out with dangerous weapon, and that is the situation that happened in Kaduna. Well, to me, government has a lot of sanity to do, because we cannot continue to have these hooligans and miscreants. When they commit havoc, that is when we refer to them as hooligans. But the politicians, they know where these guys live. They go after them, pay them some, induce them financially to make sure that they come out during rally and campaign here and there. So, and at the end of the day, they cause havoc. When they cause havoc, everybody will shout. But we should educate them. We should tell them the truth that look, no politician wants it to come for you to come out and attack one another. Don't attack yourself in the name of them, because at the end of the day, when they win, they go to the government house, they go to wherever they are, and you are being abandoned for what? Why should you stake your life? So a lot of campaign, a lot of sensitization campaign should be carried out by National Orientation Agency towards this direction and other government media houses. I know a lot of NGOs, they do handle this campaign to say, look, vote and don't fight. Election is not about violence. For instance, what we saw from Kaduna yesterday, or at the airport, you could see Atiku and Tinubu, all of them are laughing together and cracking joke together. So, but there are supporters outside there that are doing contrary to what these politicians are portraying. So they should, at least the politicians themselves, they should talk to their followers too.
All right, so there's this, also on the Punch newspaper, we have Clark asked Buhari to release Kanu, not Malami. Well, I think this should be the first time Edu Clark is speaking on publicly. I don't know if it has, but I think that should be one of the... He has
been speaking. For instance, recently he has been talking about this oil theft in Niger.
Of course,
and then this time around he's doubling into this now. I believe that has been an elder statesman. Why should listen to voices of statement like that, so that it's not... If Buhari is sticking to the aspect of legal framework to say that it should be treated legally, now we have a judgment and the Court of Appeal now decided to set this guy free. So why are they keeping him? Why is ZSS still keeping him? Why is Attorney General of the Federation insisting on keeping him? So Buhari should intervene.
All right, so still on the Punch newspaper, finally on the Punch newspaper, we have police arrest Lagos businessman over wife's death. That happened some days ago. Yeah. We'll talk about that. Kogi government killed worshippers during church service. That you can find out on the Punch newspaper as well. Nigerian debt risk unsustainable. So these are some headlines on the Punch newspaper. Protesting Ogun Poly student disrupt exams, demands reversal. That is on Punch newspaper. They just focus on the Lagos State businessman killed
his wife.
After reading that story,
a lot of things.
Because most times when you see stories, you don't really know the depth of the story, what managed the story. But after reading that story, what will have made you to go to that history?
You know, you can't hear from only one source and conclude. You know. And most times when a life is at stake, you know, based on what I read, they have like 5 children. So people that have a couple that have 5 children you meet means that their marriage must have lasted like over 10 years. So they are not new to themselves. So although based on what they said the woman had reported a case of assault before from the husband. So and it's come to like this now, to life loss. At the end of the day, I believe the police will carry out a thorough investigation and Nigerians will know the details of what happened. But I still find it difficult to believe that a man will just wake up and start assaulting his wife. You understand? This is somebody that you guys live together and pledged to live together as a husband and wife. It's a lot. Well, we can't just jump into conclusion and say that he actually killed her.
Right, next is the Nation newspaper. Nation newspaper, we have at the top Nation newspaper, INEC chair are not under pressure to quit. Why are they wanting to quit? What's going on? You know, because there's a story they said they discovered about 50 rigging, whatever, you know.
You know, when it's, election time is coming like this, this is not new.
We'll come back to that. We'll come back to that story. Wike PDP should apologize for article comments. PDP should apologize for article comments.
Wike is more or less like a boy.
I will unlock Nigerians' greatness, says Obi. As on the Nation newspaper, says Obi. My plan for prosperous united Nigeria by Tinubu. So let's just focus on the INEC chairman. Why did they want INEC chairman to quit at this point? We have just 3-4 months to election and you want the chairman to quit. Who will not conduct the election? Do you want a new chairman to come and do a new signatory?
You know
what's going on?
You know, politicians are very good in maneuvering. So those that are not comfortable with him, they will push for his head, square one to restart again. So whoever is calling for his removal is not serious.
Then Wiki comment over Atiku. Atiku has to apologize.
It's based on what Atiku said some days ago in Kaduna.
Yeah,
so
Kaduna,
and, you understand what is disturbing me now. Some of us now is as seeing Wiki coming out talking as if it's like he keep on saying that he's a member of PDP and he will not go anywhere. But he is the one that is leading the attack against his own party, PDP. So PDP should put decide to forge ahead with their campaign without Wike, and Wike is not too happy, he's not too comfortable with that. He wants a dialogue, he wants a situation whereby to say, okay, Ayu must go. He wants a situation whereby what he say is what PDP will comply with, and you now discover that these guys are not ready to play the ball based on what he wants. So, and he's not happy with that, and that is exactly now he's now constituting himself as an opposition within the party. So it doesn't speak well.
All right, so next to discuss on this morning will be on Daily Trust newspaper. So on Daily Trust newspaper, we have some of the top headline stories. We championed indivisible, prosperous Nigerian complete Mabila AKK. Mabila Power Plant, AKK, Tinubu.
Well, all he mentioned here are more or less like what he wants to do for the North, you understand? Mabila is a power project in Taraba. Then
State,
AKK is this president administration pipeline that starts from Ajakuta down to
Kanu, yes.
So, well, it's more or less like a promise. So let's see how it goes. But if you ask Nigerians, they will tell you that, look, the present administration promised to do a lot of things, but at the end of the day, where we are today, it's not what we expected. So, I don't know. Let's see.
So, PWB said, Northern Nigerians' greatest asset. I will unlock Nigerians' potentials. That is Obi saying that.
Yeah.
Eh?
It's it's campaign period whereby everybody is making promises. So,
but Ezeife said Obi detained me in 2013. Obi detained me in 2013. Don't forget. I think he said to these voters, "I will end insecurity, revive industries." So the whole promises everywhere. So
I think we're in an era of promises here and there. So if you say they will end insecurity, good and fine, because everybody is tired of the insecurity problem today now in Nigeria. Everybody want to live their life normal. In fact, Dr. Israel, if you understand the feeling of Nigerians, nobody even care much about the government. What we want is a situation whereby you can live from Kaduna to Enugu, come back alive, and not to be attacked by anybody. Go to Lagos just like that. But today now, people are afraid to travel from here to Kaduna. Just from here to Kaduna, people are afraid to just go like that. So security is our number one challenge. If any serious candidate can come out to say, okay, look, I'm going to tackle this insecurity, people would key into that person. So, and that is exactly what they are doing. I will tackle security. I will do this. I will do that. We are in an era of promises here and there. So what we are going to tell them is they should look beyond promises. They should keep to their word. Integrity counts when you keep to your promises.
Petrol scarcity lingered in Abuja as Lokoja gridlock persists. Yeah. What is the stake about that? Because I see there are a lot of queues in Abuja. Yesterday, I saw so many queues within Airport Road, then in the Center City, within NNPC area, and all of that. There's a lot of queue everywhere. And it seems like really and NNPC released a statement that they have over 1,100 something tankers in Abuja, and I think Eastern Country has.
It's really unfortunate that look, in the 21st century, where the NNPC is still relying on haulage of fuel from Lagos terminal to other part of the country through tankers. You understand? If we have a functional pipeline, you discover that this commodity will be channeled into the pipeline, and that is
discharge in each state.
Yes, that is why we have.
I think the best is just to take it to each state.
Yes, you understand.
Discharge in each state or major city. Since you have six geopolitical zones.
PPMC are based in at least in all the most of the geographical zone in Nigeria today. We have PPMC, whereby the products supposed to be channeled through the pipeline.
Modular refineries make more sense in each of the state. Each geographical zone. So it's easier for the people to take it.
But now it's not that way. They import this fuel, and once they import it, the discharges that they think can or Apapa Wharf. From there now, they'll start transporting it by road through tankers. That is why we're having these challenges now.
Beautiful. You know that the federal government is having a ministerial retreat it's ongoing. I think that should be within today or tomorrow.
At the
State House, yes. So the president said we have done very well. Yes, the the APC government have done very well according to the president. So what is the stake? What they have said about that?
Well, it's like you don't expect somebody to rate himself low. That is exactly what President Muhammadu Buhari just did yesterday. He said it yesterday, but to me, it's laughable because saying that he has met the aspiration and the yearning of Nigerians, that's not supposed to come from him.
When you say it's laughable, you look as if that there's nothing done in this government. I don't think it's right for it.
No matter what, it's just like when you have a scale. When you have a scale, when the other side is way more than that is exactly what we are.
A system that have 200 and something
million Nigerians, and so then you discover that.
Think that do you actually believe that one administration can solve the problem?
No, Nigerians are now saying he should do all. You understand?
Yeah, of course. So it's a mind.
This thing is based on. It's based on indices. You understand? Nigerians are making comparison between 2015 and the present today. You discover that the economy is almost at the cliff. You understand? It's all at the verge of collapse, and you have the insecurity.
So are you telling me that a government that built the first in the history of Nigeria that started and completed a road project which take you from Lagos to Ibadan and is currently functioning, which has not been done in the history of this country, that this government did not do well, even with that project? And at the time the government came into power, the the Abuja Kaduna rail line was not functioning, which is about 80-70% completion, and the government completed it and acquire locomotive and coaches, and which the rail system services in that area, in that route, commence immediately. And from there, they proceeded to Jakarta, which was about over 30-something years ago. They invested so much money. That was during the former Minister of Transport, that one, they invested so much and energy to ensure that that project was actualized. And the project was actualized. And today, that was the same route they are using to import the pipelines that were using for this Lokoja to Kanu. So you are telling me that the government that have done all of that did not do well, that is laughable. You know, from when you try to make some point, then it looks funny. So because it's all these pictures that these projects were completed, right? Like the first in the history in the country, a rail project was completed. And even you, I can't remember when you were, but if you use Nigeria Rail before, and if you have heard about Nigeria Airway, I did not use it, but I heard it now. You know, at least when I've heard about Nigeria Rail Line, I've never witnessed or experienced or used it. But I use it during this administration. So you tell me that government didn't do well. And parents is telling you that he achieved over 10,800 kilometers of road. I say he did not do well. Explain that for me, please.
That commendation is supposed to come from Nigerians, not from the president.
No. The record is there for it.
No. Okay, let's take.
No, what you say is laughable. That's I'm trying to correct you. It's actually not laughable because he achieved this project under this government.
Let's be frank to ourselves now.
I'm listening.
You talk about the railway investment. Well, quite okay that the government has done credibly well, because if you look at where we're coming from, railway, for instance, has been moribund. There's nothing like functional railway before this administration, except we had the aspect of the Abuja Kaduna, which is almost like 80% completed.
Yes, 70 to 80% completion before this new administration
came, and they completed it. Then they started a Virgin project, which is a standard gauge line from Lagos to Ibadan, which they started within the life of the administration. They completed it. We commend them for that. But having said that, we just have to look at it this way: that look, these projects are not supposed to end in itself. Take for instance that the dream of the Lagos Ibadan project. I could recall what the former immediate past minister he said, look, it will solve the gridlock problem in Apapa axis,
yes,
whereby tankers or trailers are not supposed to come inside Lagos again. They stop in Ibadan. From there, they dispatch to their various destinations. But as you can see today, up to this present moment, we are still having this gridlock problem in Lagos, in Apapa, Lagos. It means that the major objective, it has not been achieved, and that is why we are saying that, look, despite the investment by the present administration in infrastructure, in provision of infrastructure, you now discover that it's as if they are not doing much because the end result has not been achieved. I just cited the example of the Lagos Ibadan railway project. You see that the aim of it.
My question is that did the government did well or not?
Well, they have, to some extent, they have invested.
Exactly. So it's not laughable. That's what I'm correct you. It's not laughable. Can't tell a whole government that they invested for about 6 going to 8 years that they did nothing. That's laughable. That's what I'm trying to correct you. Do not forget that the economy. Do not forget that
narrow gauge.
No, not the narrow gauge. Yeah, because at the point when the former minister was, I think we had a story where there's approval for government to revive all the narrow gauge, because the intention was to connect all the states by rail. Yeah. But I don't know whether they will say actually
to reactivate the narrow gauge, and do some repair here and there and reactivate it. And even that, you could see that
the Niger bridge. What of another bridge?
We commend the government for doing that. No, but what we are saying now is that, look, despite all this huge investment that the government is calling himself high for, despite all that, you could see that the economy is not doing well. You understand? And that is why Nigerians are not happy. And if you decide to sample opinion of Nigerians when the president said that he has met the aspiration of Nigerians, I could tell you that Nigerians will tell him that, look, Mr. President, you are speaking for yourself. You are not speaking for us.
Anyway, we'll leave it there.
Yes.
Federal government General Atiku campaign rally venue in Kaduna. I think there's a story that come up like some weeks ago that River State Governor set out the guideline for campaign in campaign, and he said that no school premises will be used or any open no premises will be used
unless permission will come from
unless you have a proper permission from the state government. That is first condition. Second, for you to have the permission, you will deposit 5 million naira. So the point is that they use their money to do campaign for you. So now the question is that even if you don't get approval, the money will not be refunded back to you.
Well, if you look at it, for instance, like in Kaduna situation, you now discover that. Okay, let's even take it from 2015. You could see that APC then.
But I think that is wrong. No, it's wrong.
It's our own kind of politics here, and that is why you now discover that Ezeife now try to remind Peter Obi yesterday that look, in 2013 you locked me up for 48 hours. You understand? I am now the chief executive officer of this state with all the police and the DSS and everything under my jurisdiction within this state. I can do the same thing, but I refuse to do it. You understand? That politics of bitterness, we should treat. When we treat that politics of bitterness, you now discover that some of these people that we refer to as hooligans, they are copying from the politicians. They are copying from people that we called leaders. You understand? So if we decide to treat and you discover that we'll go a very long way. You understand? So era of denying opposition venue to say, okay, we don't hold your you understand? It should be bygone. We saw what happened in Lagos prior to now. You see Labour Party, they had their solidarity march here and there in Lagos with mammoth crowd. We had another aspect again. They say they are denying Lagos State government is denying Labour Party billboard chance to erect billboard.
Yes.
So these are parties. These are all politics of bitterness, which is not supposed to be so. Whether we like it or not, we are all Nigerians. These guys, they are out there campaigning to better the lives of Nigerians. I think one thing that we need to do, we should just think about reviewing the constitution. If you look at it very well, towards the dying days of President Goodluck Jonathan, he clamored for something. He said that instead of two-term tenure, we should go for only one term of 6 years. By the time somebody just go like that, you will just vacate the seat and just go like that. I think when we have that politics of winners take all, when we do away with that politics of winners take all, certainly we will have a viral nation. We will build our democracy in a way that it will inculcate and have that unifying unity among all Nigerians. But for now, we cannot make a headway because of politics of bitterness. How can a state governor come out and say, look, all permission to hold any political rally must come from the state government? Really, it must come from state government because the government provide the security. The government, through the police, provide the security. The government now decide to license to say, okay, you are free to hold your rally here. It's fine, but a situation whereby they will deny their opposition, doesn't all go well for us. We should tell ourselves the truth.
All right, so Alhaji, thank you so much for joining me this morning, and I also thank our viewers for also having taken time to listen to you. One thing that will take home here is all our voters, all Nigerians should be more united, despite the political party you belong to. Seeing these leaders coming together, I mean, discussing together, they share things together. We should not kill ourselves because we have to just vote the right person. Do not forget, it's just one man that will take over that position. Not all of us will be there. So one person must lead, and God knows who going to be. Thank you, Alhaji, for joining us. Next to be joining me in this program will be one of our also reporter and also asset analyst in CB. CB will be joining us in this studio any moment from now. And I just want you to stay tuned and watch every one of us, and we'll give you more details. Before then, we'll go on break. While we are going on break, we'll bring you some of our stories that have been happening in Aspheric and some of our content. We also have different stories that come in Aspheric. We have stories that come in Aspheric, but we'll go on break. When we return back, Insibi will join us live in our studio. Stay tuned and don't leave us now. thank you for staying tuned, and say welcome back to our newspaper morning brief. Today we're bringing in our new guest, CB. Good morning, sir.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you? How's the day?
Fine, thank you.
So my first question is, there's so much trending news in Nigeria, and especially in politics. Let's look at politics and comment being made by some political parties, and also restriction of campaign venues in the state, especially in Rivers. They just focus on Rivers. So focus in Rivers State. What do you think will be a lasting solution to that? Would it depriving some other political parties not having access to a conducive environment to campaign? So what is that strategy, and what's the intent to gain from other parties?
Well, I think it is the right to Nigerians have been given by INEC to go ahead with their campaigns, and prior to the election that is coming up. I don't think it's a right move by the governor to stop other political parties from using public properties that belongs to the state government for campaigns. I mean, it's an infringement on the rights of all these other political parties, because there is freedom of association, there's freedom of the right to vote and the right to be voted for. So if the governor wants to use this, I'll call it a plot to disenfranchise other small political parties, it is not democratic at all. It is not a democratic move. I think it is a plot to weaken other political parties, because if your party is strong,
then it is a strategy, like for them, it's a strategy for them to...
It's a plot, but it's not democratic, because you cannot restrict people from going about their legal businesses politically. So I see that as it's not a good move, it's not healthy for our democracy.
So let look at recently the Rivers State governor appointed, if I'm correct, 14,000 special advisors.
Yes.
And they are to be paid. And each of these 14,000 special advisors come from the different wards in Rivers State. Then also we have about, was it 300 and something? Was it 300 and something? Like zone officers, I can't remember the exact figure, but I think that appointment, what's really is the strategy? Do you think that these guys will be used as an instrument to disrupt, either to disrupt or to, to gain more, for the party to gain more strength in the local government? That's being like, okay, let's imagine somebody who have not seen power before and say, oh, I'm a special advisor to the governor. That alone will make you, give you more energy. Like, I want to work because I'm a special advisor to the governor. And you work freely because nobody will arrest you. Nobody will arrest you because he's the governor of the state.
I don't think I'll consider that as a great gift. That's what I'll consider that empowerment, because you just have barely 8 months or 7 months to leave office, and you have not created jobs in Rivers State for the past 7 years.
And 3 months to election.
And you just come up and say you're appointing a special advisor on what, if I may ask? You appointed 14,000 special advisors on what basis? I think it is just another means for Wike to deceive the Rivers people to vote for PDP, because there's hunger in the state, and when you empower these people a few months to election, you are indirectly buying their votes, so to say. You're buying votes in advance. That's what I'll put it as. So Rivers people will not be deceived by this kind of employment strategy that do not even know what happens to them after election.
But I recall that when the former governor was there, His Excellency Right on he employed over, I think, 13,000 teachers.
Yes, and health workers and lawyers.
And that's it there. That's it working. That's it there.
Permanent civil service jobs.
Yes, that's being defined with gratuity, being defined, and he cannot sack them. He cannot move them. The staff are still there. And up to today, they are still there
until the next few years.
So it means that they are to exist within the period, maybe 3-4 months after. Maybe after election, they dissolve.
That is not what Rivers people need as empowerment. That is not what Rivers. It's very unfortunate.
Like what you said is, maybe it can be a strategy for him to.
Like I said, it's an advanced vote buying. Because if you had 14,000 people who are essays to the governor, you automatically mean that you have 14,000 votes for the governor or for the party. So it's a strategy. Wike is a good politician, but a very, very bad administrator. I give him kudos for that. He has already started a good politician, but very, very terrible administrator. So that's it.
So there's a call to sack INEC chairman. So what was there from some people? What they think about that?
That depends.
Don't you think that will affect the whole process? Don't you think that will disrupt, that will affect the, if ever that INEC is hacked today? Don't you think that will affect the whole process? Because we just have like barely 3 months to election, 3-4 months to election.
The issue is, why are they calling for the sack of the INEC chairman? Is it justified? Is it constitutional? Has he in any way faltered in delivering his mandate? Has his tenure elapsed? We should look at all these things. Nigerians should not just wake up because it doesn't suit your interest and you call for the sack of the national chairman of the INEC, who has already, over the month, started processing and preparing for the 2023 general election. If you bring someone else new into the system, it would automatically change all the plans and everything. What happens to leaving this chairman to conduct the 2023 election and then hand over? So I think it's an insensitive call without any reason, so to say.
So when you look at the campaign rally going on, especially the one in Kaduna and the one in Kaduna recently, like especially yesterday and all of that, you see the different political party, they were all there, and they made their promises. Some of them focus on agriculture, power supply, and infrastructure development, which has been one of the major existence structure that every administration will, even including the state, including the local government, they will focus on power, agriculture, and all of that. But our general concern, when the asked questions, somebody's tweet concern was implementation. So implementation has been a major problem in Nigeria, because it's like that implementation is a major problem in Nigeria. So how do you think that these people will achieve this?
Well, I think
if ever any of them emerge,
I believe in whatever is worth doing very well. What Nigeria lacks is not manpower, actually. Like you said, it is implementation, and implementation is difficult because you don't put the right people at the right place. When you put the right and qualified people at the right sectors, you find out that they are going to deliver on the mandate of their job. Just imagine you making somebody who studied agricultural science, maybe a minister of finance. What relation does it have with finance? So when you put somebody who has a track record in finance to head the Department of Finance, you see that things will go smoothly. When you put somebody who is a petroleum expert to handle the Department of Petroleum, you see that things will go smoothly. But in Nigeria, you just give appointment based on nepotism, based on brotherly relation, based on friendly relation. You don't even care if the person is competent enough to handle the position you're giving to him. So these are some of the problems we have in Nigerian leadership system. It is difficult to implement these policies. But I pray and I hope that whichever party wins the next election, they will be deliberate about bringing about the change that every Nigeria deserves.
So editors, Nigerian Guild of Editors frowned yesterday over the shutting down of all broadcasting satellite companies in Zamfara State. What does take about that? So if the government is attacking the media?
Well, it's an election season. The role of the media in elections cannot be overemphasized. So when things like this happen, one will cause to have reasons to wonder if there is a subtle attack on the media. So what they did is calling the government to act right, and I think it's the right step in the right direction. At this critical time, information is very, very important. And if you're shutting down a means of disseminating information to Nigerians, it's not a proper thing to do right now.
So 5 persons died and 3 injured in Kogi auto crash. Why is the season? So what's the role of road safety? I mean, why do we also always have series of motor accidents? I mean, all the time.
We may not really blame the road safety officials. They also have.
But there should be caution, because sometimes you see speed breaker,
that's what
but there's no caution. There's no caution. Yes.
Sometimes
caution sign, no caution sign.
It boils down to the individuals who uses the cars. Some of them drive recklessly. You understand? So I think this is a part where the National Orientation Agency should come in and sensitize Nigerians on the use of road traffic signs, how to drive without increasing speed, and the law should be enforced on drivers who overspeed. These things, there are no checks on this. If you travel to more saner countries, if you drive beyond some certain speed, you're stopped and asked, why are you driving in this speed? Because you're putting your life at risk. It is not even the next person you're putting at risk. Your life is at risk, the car you're driving and the person you might hit, you're risking everything at once. So the government should do more on making sure that traffic laws are enforced. Not when you stop somebody for breaking a traffic law and the person gives you 1,000 naira and they move ahead. That is why you see these things keeps reoccurring. So I think it's a system problem.
There's so much PVCs in the regional centers that are not being collected. Why did Nigeria register and abandon their PVC?
I cannot answer that question. I have my PVC, I registered and I collected mine. I don't know the reason why other Nigerians abandoned their PVC.
There are PVC in the centers and that have not been collected. Don't you think it would be an advantage for a smart opposition to use that and claim?
Well, they are all Nigerians. We don't know if the PVC belongs to APC members or PDP members or
generally. It's
left for the candidates to campaign and garner support for those that already have their PVCs.
All right, Sibi, thank you for joining us this morning. I will still continue with the same track tomorrow. Thank you, guests, for joining us this morning. I want to say a big thank you for all of you that have joined us. My name is Israeli Beleme, and with me last in the studio is Sibi. And also, do not forget to follow us on social media handles on Aspheric News on Instagram, Aspheric News on Twitter, and don't forget the Aspheric TV on YouTube. The one described in the screen, Aspheric TV on YouTube. Do not forget to read more news content, breaking news, and we'll bring it down breaking it on www.aspheric.news.com. If you have any information you want to reach out to us on WhatsApp, please do not forget to +234 980 9999 8117, and I repeat the number +234 8117. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate your presence this morning with us. Thank you, and stay by when we meet again. Thank you. Bye.